If you're wondering when your first listing will finally come, I get it. As someone who led Keller Williams with 160,000 agents, built one of the top teams in the country, and has sold over 4,000 homes, I've seen this play out more times than I could even count. You're probably wondering what to do every day. Why would anyone even list with you? How do you find sellers? That uncertainty that you're feeling is something that every agent goes through. And from what I've seen, that usually ends up going down one of two paths. Some agents will gain traction right away, while others will take months, if not years, trying to figure it out. After decades of working with new agents, I can tell you exactly why. It's not luck, it's not the market, it's focusing on the activities and doing them consistently that create listings. The agents who win early spend their time where it counts. On the phone, having real conversations with prospects about buying and selling. The ones who struggle stay busy doing everything but that. They perfect their logo, tweak their websites, post on social media, and then wonder why nothing's happening. It might look and feel productive, but it's not going to get you your first listing. That's what this video is for, to give you a clear, simple path from no listings to your first. By the time we're finished, you'll know exactly who to call, how to get their info, what to say, and how to win the listing once you're in their home. I'm so confident in this process, I'll make you a promise. If you watch this video, follow every step, and still don't land your first listing, I'll personally coach you for free until you do. That's how confident I am in what you're about to learn. If you're wondering where to start, I'll give you a simple answer: expired listings. An expired listing is a homeowner who wanted to sell but didn't succeed. They cleaned, staged, trusted an agent, and then it didn't sell. Now they're frustrated, maybe even angry, and unsure of what to do next. That's exactly why these prospects are your best starting point. You're not convincing anyone to sell, you're just helping them finish what they already started. When you approach these sellers in the way that I'll teach you in this video, you'll instantly stand out from every other agent calling them. And if you're thinking, where do I even find these sellers? You have two options: paid or free. You can use tools like landvoice.com. They'll deliver new expired leads to you every day, complete with verified phone numbers and emails. Yes, it may cost you a little bit on a monthly basis, but you're not paying for a big software system. You're paying to skip the manual work and to get on the phone faster, and maybe to have better data than what's in the MLS. But if you're not willing or able to spend anything, then you can still find the same information, almost as good, for free. You'll go on your MLS, filtered for the expired and canceled listings. You can also go to Zillow and filter for listings removed or off market. You can also go to Redfin and check the property history section for expired listings. Then track everything on a simple spreadsheet: name, phone number, address, and any notes. Start with 50 to 100 expireds, even if you have to go back in time, and then add every day to your pipeline. Before we talk about what to say, let's talk about who you're talking to. An expired listing is a homeowner who tried to sell, but for whatever reason wasn't successful. They staged, cleaned, and hired an agent and waited with nothing happening. Now they're frustrated and wondering what went wrong. Should they even try again? When you call, you have to understand they've probably already been contacted by many other agents, which means you have to sound different. Calm, confident, and curious, not pushy. Think of yourself as a detective, not a debater. Your job is to discover where they wanted to go, why it mattered, and what went wrong in the process. To get there, ask the questions that bring those details to the surface. If you had sold the home, where were you going next? How soon did you want to be there? What do you think stopped your home from selling? Where did the last agent you hired fall short? When you ask these questions, three things happen. You reignite and discover the seller's motivation. You find out exactly how to position yourself differently, and you show the seller that you're actually listening and understand them. That's how you earn trust and ultimately an appointment. On the call, be ready for resistance. Some people will simply hang up, some will vent, and a few will actually want to meet. That's all part of the process. Now, before we get into the script, I want you to understand something important. There's no perfect script, and there never will be. Every seller is different, and every call will be different because of that. So if a line feels awkward coming out of your mouth, change it. The goal isn't to sound like me or anyone else. It's to sound authentic while following the framework that works. So here's how to start the conversation. Hi, Mr. or Mrs. Seller. I was calling about your home that was no longer on the market and wanted to see when you're going to be interviewing agents for the job of selling it. Or, hi, Mr. or Mrs. Seller. I was calling about the home that was for sale that looks like it's no longer on the market. Are you still planning to sell it? Then pause and let them respond. Most of the time you'll hear things like, we're just going to take it off the market, we're going to give it a break, or we've already found our next agent. That's normal. They're not rejecting you. They're just tired of the process. They don't want to talk to another agent on the phone. When they sound skeptical or defensive, your goal isn't to pitch them or convince them. It's just to keep them talking. You might say, hey, I totally understand. I know you've gotten a ton of phone calls today. Out of curiosity, if you had sold the home, where were you going next? What takes you there? And how soon did you want to be there? What do you think stopped your home from selling while it was on the market? You don't need to ask every question, just enough to understand their frustration, their goals, and their timeline. So here's what the script will probably sound like. Hello, this is Chris. I'm a real estate agent calling you about your home that was on the market. I noticed it came off the market this morning. I wanted to see when you're going to be interviewing agents for the job of selling it. They're either going to yell, vent, tell me they're taking it off the market, whatever it is. And I'm just simply going to acknowledge that. I get it. I'm curious, if your home had sold, where were you going next? Tucson. That's exciting. And when did you need to be there? Well, we wanted to be there already. Ouch. I'm sorry that didn't happen. What do you think stopped your home from selling? They're either going to say it was the market, the agent, or both. If they say it's the agent, I'm going to ask, well, how did you happen to choose that agent? They're going to tell me. It was a referral. It was a neighbor. It was the one that helped us buy the house, whatever the case may be. Then I'm going to ask them, what did that agent do you liked the best? And they're going to say, well, they gave it their all. They communicated. They were positive, whatever it might be. And then I'm going to ask the important question, well, what do you think they should have done? They're going to say, sell the house. Sell the house. Exactly. Well, what are you going to expect from the next agent you choose to sell the house? Great. I specialize in helping people sell homes that should have sold but didn't. When do you have 15 minutes for me to stop by and share with you what we do that works? My goal is just to get the appointment, get face to face, not to convince them on the phone, not to persuade them, not to sell them, get an appointment so I can get face to face. And remember, you're going to hear objections. You're going to hear frustration. That's normal. Things like, we're just taking it off the market. We already have an agent. We're waiting for the market to get better. Where were you when the home was on the market? Did you show my home? Every objection is just uncertainty, not rejection. Here's the good news. When you ask the right questions early, you'll get fewer objections because you're just having a conversation. When you're ready to practice objections, jump inside SalesGo.AI. You'll practice expired listing calls on easy, medium, and hard modes. These AI calls will sound exactly like the real thing, so you'll know exactly how to respond when you're on the call with a live prospect. Now, if you've ever asked yourself, what should I be doing every day in order to get my first listing? This is it. Success in real estate isn't about having the best script or the most experience. It's about what you do consistently, especially on the days you don't feel like it. So here's exactly what your daily routine should look like. From 7:30 to 8 every morning, you should be practicing your scripts and dialogues. From 8 to 11 a.m., you should be on the phone prospecting, calling expired listings, not scrolling on your phone, not dealing with emails, simply making calls. When you're making your calls, you're going to want to track these 4 things. Dials made, which is the total number of calls you make, whether they answered or not. Conversations had, which is the total number of conversations that you've had with the decision maker. And the total number of confirmed listing appointments you've set, which is the total number of listing appointments you booked. And then appointments held, the ones you actually went on. Tracking these dailies will keep you honest, focused, and improving. So now you've prospected, you've set the appointment, and now you're facing the moment every new agent worries about, the listing presentation. If your thoughts are, why would they choose me? I've never done this before. Relax. Every agent, including me, has felt that way at one time or another. This isn't about convincing them to hire you. It's about showing up as a professional that knows how to help. Think of it like an actor preparing for their role. Actors convince millions of people that they're someone other than they are, and you can't tell the difference. Your role is as a trusted advisor. When you walk in, know what you'll say, how you'll say it, and how you want them to feel. Before every appointment, print your CMA, a few pages showing your marketing plan, and a listing agreement. Dress one level above your client. Bring 2 pens and a notepad. When you knock, have a big smile on your face. It sounds small, but sellers can feel your energy even before you speak. Now, the goal of the presentation isn't to impress them with graphics or jargon. It's to build trust, learn what they care about, show them you have a plan, and get the paperwork signed. The first section of the listing presentation is the intro. It's from greeting them at the door to sitting down. The second phase is the pricing conversation, reviewing the data together. And the last phase is the commitment. This is answering their questions and earning the signature. Let's walk through each phase. When you arrive, greet them confidently. Hi, Mr. and Mrs. Name. Thank you for having me over. I appreciate the opportunity to show you how I can get your home sold. If they want to show you the home, walk through with them. Make light observations and collect small yeses. The home shows really well. Are you planning to take this furniture out or to keep it in for staging? Each little yes starts to build rapport before you even sit down. After the tour, you'll want to sit at a table. You can simply say, we can sit here at the kitchen table if that's okay with you. This keeps the conversation structured and is a better setting for having a business conversation. You want to sit so you'll be able to look directly at both sellers and not ping pong back and forth between them. You want to give them both equal attention. As soon as you sit down, frame the conversation. First off, thank you for giving me the opportunity to share with you how I help people like you get their homes sold. Before we dive in, is it okay if I ask you a few questions so that I fully understand your goals? They'll always say yes. And then you ask these 3 questions. You've definitely decided to sell, correct? And I assume you want to price it to sell. Not give it away, but not price it so high that it sits for months or doesn't sell at all, correct? Based on our conversation, if you're comfortable and confident that we could get your home sold, would you consider hiring me today at the end of our conversation? Even if they say they don't know, or they're still deciding, or they're going to think about it, it's okay. You've let them know where the conversation's going. Now it's time to talk price. Remember, you don't set price, the market does. You're the educator, you're the doctor giving the prognosis. Your job is to simply help them understand how their home relates to the market. You mentioned that you want to be in Florida within 60 days, right? The best way to have that happen is to price your home at a price that will cause the market to react to it in a very positive way. I'm going to show them 3 to 5 actives, pendings, and solds. I'm going to ask them, are there any surprises? Do these prices line up with what you expected? And I'm going to ask them, what do we notice about the homes, or what stands out about the homes that have actually sold? And then connect the dots. If we want to be under contract in the next 30 to 45 days, this is the price that'll cause that to happen. You're working with them to translate the data into a decision that they feel confident about. Once they agree, here are the next steps. Here's what's going to happen next. Once we decide on the price, we'll sign the paperwork. We'll decide what things should be done to the home to get it in showable condition, and then we'll decide what day we're going to go on the market. You'll want to explain these next steps like it's normal. And as always, be prepared for some objections. An objection means the seller is engaged. You'll hear things like, well, the other agent said this, or can you do it for less money? Or we want to think about it. Whenever you're faced with an objection, you'll want to acknowledge, respect, and redirect. I understand perfectly. You deserve to feel confident about this decision. Knowing that your goal is to be in Florida in the next 60 days, how do you think pricing higher would impact that? You don't have to win, you just need to keep their focus on the outcome that they desire. Once you're ready to close, say this. So if everything we've talked about makes sense, and you're confident that we can get the home sold, the next step is simply to sign the paperwork. Talk like it's the natural next step, because it is. And since you're new, remember this. You don't need a long resume to earn trust. And if you deliver the presentation the way we've talked about, most sellers won't question your experience. But if they do ask, how long have you been in real estate? Or how many homes have you sold? Don't panic. You don't need to fake anything. You just need to redirect their focus to the support and structure behind you. I work very closely with my broker and the other agents in our office who have helped dozens of people just like you sell in this area. Together, we'll make sure that every detail of your sale is handled the correct way and professionally. Sellers care far less about how long you've been licensed and far more about how confidently you can guide them through the process. And that's it. You got your first listing. You picked up the phone, earned the appointment, walked in prepared, and delivered your first listing presentation. If you're feeling a little overwhelmed, that's normal. Every new agent feels and thinks the same way. I get the steps, but what if I mess up? What if they reject me? What if I sound stupid? That's exactly why we built SalesGo.AI. so that you can get very good by practicing before you ever speak to a real seller. You can practice expired calls with artificial intelligence that responds just like real people. You'll learn how to handle objections without freezing or panicking. You'll rehearse your full listing presentation so you walk in prepared and confident. And the system will give you real feedback on what you're doing right and what you need to fix. So go inside SalesGo.AI right now and run your first expired listing call for free. To make it easier for new agents to take action, I'm giving 5% off the first month to the first 100 people who sign up with the code LISTING at checkout. Click the link below to start.